Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, East Cobb News readers. This is Wendy Parker. I'm your editor and publisher and founder, and we're getting ready to put a wrap on what has been the best year in the history of East Cobb News in terms of traffic and readership growth. We're closing in on 1.7 million page views for the year, and more than 875,000 unique visitors. That's the number of individual accounts that click on to the site at least once a month. A really, really good number. It kind of translates out into 70 or 80,000 unique visitors a month over the course of this 2023. That's roughly 1/3 of our coverage area. And it's really, really gratifying to know we're getting that kind of readership interest. We're also closing in on 9,500 newsletter subscribers. That's a number that keeps growing. We started that from scratch, almost from the beginning of our site history. Our previous best year for traffic was 2020. And if you remember, that year was a rather eventful one. We had COVID-19 and also a presidential and very heated local election year. This year, we didn't have either one of those things, and we got people coming to East Cobb News for a lot of different kinds of stories. Yes, local government and politics and school controversies, crime, sadly, zoning cases, local business openings and closings, especially restaurants. A lot of reasons why people are coming to and valuing East Cobb News. And we heard from many of you during the course of the year what you liked about what we do, what you'd like to see more of. And we're planning some new features and some other things after the start of the year in 2024. We also began a readership financial contribution campaign called 6 for 6 in honor of our 6th anniversary, asking readers for a minimum of $6 a month. And we're continuing to ask that of you on a recurring monthly basis, or you can donate on a yearly basis or a one-time basis. If you'd like to do that and get some more information, please go to eastcobbnews.com/support. We started this local news service, this community resource, 6.5 years ago because there is a dearth in local news, not just in East Cobb, but everywhere around the country. And I'm someone who grew up around here. I was a journalist here earlier in my career. I've covered local news on and off during a 40-year journalism career. And of all the changes in the journalism profession, in the news industry, in the last 20 years in particular, local news has really taken a hit. There are a lot of people who are really concerned that citizens don't have access to the kinds of information that they need in a really in-depth format, a really in-depth basis to help them make decisions, not just about who they're going to put in public office, but to keep track of what their local government agencies do, keep a check on power, whether it's political power or corporate power. Well, East Cobb News is part of a growing ecosystem of local independent online news publishers that wants to not just fill in the vacuum of what's being left behind by legacy media, the newspapers, and other more established platforms. We want to reimagine and redefine what local news looks like. And we've relied on your support, not just financially, but you telling us what you want from us. What kinds of news and information is important to you? We're going to be sending out another readership questionnaire, a survey after the first of the year to help to ask you to help us refine that editorial mission. We did one right after the end of the pandemic, and that was really helpful in getting back to the kinds of news that you're used to, not all COVID news. And so it's time to do that again. As I mentioned, we're going to have another election coming up. A lot of other things are going on here in the Cobb community, in East Cobb community, that we want to do more in depth and more, more that resonates more with all of you. Sometimes we feel like we're just touching the bases, and we're asking for your support to help us provide the resources so we can hire freelancers, videographers, photographers to cover some more of those stories that we can't always get to the way we'd like to. eastcobbnews.com/support. It's easy for a lot of people in my profession, in my industry, to feel doom and gloom about the future of local news. And it has been challenging, especially for a couple of years when we were going through COVID and wondering what was going to be on the other side of that. I've been extremely gratified to know that on the other side of that, in my community here in East Cobb, readers rose to support us, not just with their financial contributions, but with their comments, their suggestions, and their criticisms. We take them all to heart. We listen to every single communication that we get on how we can make this news resource resonate and be more relevant for you. And so when you get that survey, when I send that survey out in January, please take some little bit of time to fill that out. And the reason that I'm bullish on local news here in East Cobb is because of you, because of the readers. This is who we do this for. We're not doing this for other journalists. We're not doing this for a corporate board in another town somewhere. We're doing this for the readers and citizens of this community who are invested in East Cobb. And we know that you deserve and you will support a local news source that's just for you, that's all about you, that is relevant to your lives. So if you find value in what you read at East Cobb News, we're asking you one last time here in 2023 to consider contributing today at eastcobbnews.com /support. As little as $6 a month, or whatever you feel comfortable donating. We would love to hear from you and get that support from you. But more importantly, I just wanted to say thanks to all of you again for your readership, for getting in touch, for letting us know how we can do things better. I intend for East Cobb News to be even better and more popular in 2024. And again, season's greetings to all of you out there. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll check back in with you again in 2024.